Welcome to this introduction to lead in drinking water and EPA's lead and copper rule revisions, presented by EPA's Office of Groundwater and Drinking Water. What is this video about? EPA first established the lead and copper rule in 1991 to reduce exposure to lead and copper in drinking water. EPA revised the rule in January 2021. These lead and copper rule revisions, or LCRR, are currently under review. EPA wants to hear from you about your concerns and experiences with lead in drinking water and the LCRR. Keep listening for more information about lead in drinking water, some basics about the LCRR, and how you can participate. What do I need to know about lead in drinking water? Lead in pipes, fixtures, and faucets can dissolve in water or break off as particles and enter drinking water. Lead service lines, which are the pipes that connect homes to water mains, are the most significant source of lead in drinking water, particularly in older homes. In children, exposure to lead can cause serious health effects like lower IQ and learning and behavioral problems. In adults, health effects can include higher risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and kidney or nervous system problems. What is the lead and copper rule? The LCR was first established to reduce exposure to lead and copper in drinking water and protect public health. The rule requires some water systems to treat drinking water to keep lead in place. This is called corrosion control. When corrosion control is not enough to reduce lead levels, the LCR requires water systems to take additional actions, including replacing lead service lines and educating the public about the risks of lead in drinking water and the steps they can take to reduce their exposure. The maximum contaminant level goal, or MCLG, for lead is 0 micrograms per liter. The MCLG is set at 0 because there is no level of exposure to lead that is without risk. The MCLG is not an enforceable level. The action level for lead is 15 micrograms per liter. The action level is based on how effective corrosion control treatment can be. It is not a health-based value. It is based on what is feasible. The LCR requires water systems to test water at the tap in certain homes that have lead in the plumbing. Water systems must compare the lead sample results to the action level to determine if they need to take actions to reduce lead exposure, such as installing corrosion control treatment and replacing lead service lines. What are the January 2021 lead and copper rule revisions? The lead and copper rule was recently revised in January 2021 to provide greater health protection from lead in drinking water. The revised rule has several new requirements. The LCRR requires the use of new sampling techniques to better identify lead at the highest risk homes. This includes requiring water systems to sample for lead at homes served by lead service lines and to collect samples that capture the water in contact with the lead service line. The revised rule also requires water systems to identify service line material and create lead service line inventories that are shared with the public. They must also notify customers if they have a lead service line. The revised rule establishes a trigger level of 10 micrograms per liter, which requires water systems to take actions earlier. For systems that do not have corrosion control treatment, they must prepare to install it if they later exceed the action level. For systems with corrosion control treatment, they must make adjustments so that it is effective at reducing lead levels. Systems with lead service lines must also start a goal-based replacement program and inform the public of opportunities to have their lead service lines replaced. Small systems serving fewer than 10,000 people have alternative options to choose from that they must implement if they later exceed the action level. The revision also requires more systems to replace lead service lines. A water system must replace the entire lead service line in order to meet replacement requirements if they exceed the action level. It also eliminates loopholes that allowed lead service lines to remain in place. The LCRR improves corrosion control treatment requirements and requires water systems to find and fix the cause of lead sample results greater than 15 micrograms per liter. The revision also expands public education and notification. This includes notification within 24 hours to water system customers if the system exceeds the lead action level, and 3-day notification to an individual for a sample result greater than 15 micrograms per liter. Finally, for the first time, the rule requires water systems to test for lead in schools and childcare facilities. Elementary schools and childcare facilities are sampled once over a 5-year period. Secondary schools are sampled by the water system if they request it. After one 5-year round, the water system must sample for lead in any school or childcare facility that asks to be sampled. Why is EPA conducting listening sessions and external engagements? EPA has proposed to extend the effective date until December 16, 2021, and also proposed a corresponding extension of the LCRR's compliance deadline to September 16, 2024. Water systems must continue to implement the current lead and copper rule until the compliance deadline. EPA wants to hear from the public, and particularly from communities that are most at risk of exposure to lead in drinking water. To tell EPA your concerns and experiences about lead in drinking water and the lead and copper rule revisions, you can sign up to participate in a public listening session. Public listening sessions will be held on April 28th and May 5th, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can register to speak at a session by visiting www.epa.gov/safewater. The sessions will also be live streamed to the public and a link will be posted on the website. You can also submit a written comment to www.regulations.gov using the docket number EPA-HQ-OW-2021-0255 until June 30th, 2021. For more information on lead in drinking water, the lead and copper rule revisions, and on what you can do to reduce your lead risk, please visit www.epa.gov/safewater.